Lift off. Go get it. Bell business.
Hey friends, welcome back to another weekly update here on Trades Talk. I'm your host, Justin White, and today is weekly update number 36, and I am back home coming to you guys here I'm in my backyard recording this, which is my new podcast studio. I've kind of created a bit of a mobile setup. I shot 3 podcasts here yesterday and had a great time recording it outside in the backyard. So super nice. Last week I was in Canada and shot a weekly update there. And then I went to Hawaii and I'm finally back home. I've been traveling a lot. New Orleans, something like that. Phoenix, Arizona for Leanscaper, and just recently Canada and Hawaii. So I already hit 4 states in the last 3 weeks, but I'm home for a while, which is really nice. I'm locking in. We've got really good momentum at K&D. We got incredible clarity right now, which is something we've been chasing for a while. And I've got some fun stuff to talk about. So I'm going to give you guys a quick update on what happened last week on the heli trip. There's some stuff that went down, a couple events that I think are worth sharing. A lot of people are asking questions, so I'm just going to answer a few of those. And I want to talk a little bit about what's going on at K&D and what I learned this week. And it's actually really fun. I'm excited to share that with you guys. But first and foremost, last week, if you guys follow Mark Bradley on LinkedIn, he posted on LinkedIn, publicly shared this, that we had an incident happen on Thursday of last week. So a little over a week ago, about 8 days ago, we had a helicopter go down on the top of the mountain. So first off, no one's hurt. No one's injured. I was not in the helicopter. I was in the group that was below on the bottom of the mountain waiting for the helicopter to come pick us up. It was dropping off a different group. And there was some things that happened. Now, I'm not going to say too much publicly. I think it's really up for the pilot and the organization that organized the heli trip to kind of put out their public statement. And I want to respect that because I do think there's a process when there's an aviation issue that happens. Me being a pilot, I definitely want to respect that process. But long story short, and without getting too many details, because again, I want to respect the people that were involved. The helicopter had a rough landing, landed hard, and that landing ended up tipping the helicopter over. The heli caught on fire pretty much immediately, and the 6 team members that were in there, the 6 guests, quote unquote, that were in there who I've been riding with all week. And I just happened to switch groups that morning so I could ride with Kyle and Tony. Kind of freaking crazy, honestly. They were able to get everybody out safely. So with the fire belting out, they were able to pull everybody. The door got opened. Everyone got out safe. No one's hurt. Just like such a miracle. I mean, total hand of God situation where the chances of being in a helicopter crash are quite low. But when you have a helicopter crash at altitude at the top of a 8,000 or 9,000 foot mountain, like the chances people walk away from that are quite low. The chances that the pilot and the co-pilot and all the skiers walk away, incredibly low. Everyone walked away safe. I just want to make that very clear. Like everyone's okay. And the people that were involved in the crash, that's up to them to share their story and to tell and identify themselves. I'm not going to name anyone, but really an incredible moment of bravery, of heroism, of people jumping into action. I didn't want to say anything about this last Friday during my weekly update. I recorded my weekly update on Friday. This happened the Thursday before. So last week I may have been a little shooken up, but I didn't want to say anything because publicly there wasn't an announcement yet. I wanted to let the people involved make that announcement. Now, what's really, really interesting is we were talking as a mastermind group all week around what do you do during stressful events? Who are you in the face of fear? Are you calm? Are you disciplined? Are you stressful? Are you mean, rude, selfish? And we were relating this more to stress and anxiety that comes at us in the business day to day. But at the fundamental level of being in a stressed mode, are you calm under pressure? Who do you become under pressure? And I can tell you, every single person in that helicopter, including the pilot, are fucking heroes. They were calm under pressure. They went through a traumatic event that most likely, I think 90% of people would have froze out of fear. They didn't freeze. They jumped into action. They pried the door open. They got each other out. They literally helped one by one pull everybody out as a helicopter was on its side. So you had to access the door from below and climb up it. I mean, this is what books are written about. And the people on that helicopter that day are true heroes. Now, when we go through our day-to-day life, we are faced with situations that create fear, anxiety, and stress. They create frustration, anger, and a whole nother level of emotions come at us. And what I want everyone to think about, the next time you're in this mode, the next time you're feeling this way, heck, it may happen today. It may be happening right now. But when you feel the anger, when you feel the frustration, when you feel the stress, when you feel your heart rate start to increase, I want you guys to pause and take 4 deep breaths. Observe the emotions that you're feeling. Observe the experience you're going through and ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Why am I stressed? Why am I anxious? Why am I angry? And oftentimes, if we are honest with ourselves and we track the pattern back and we map the emotions, it's probably because of something we didn't do. We didn't give clear direction to our team. We didn't hold them accountable. We didn't hold the standards for the last 5 times that they were late. So why are you angry when your team shows up late the 6th time? If you're not going to hold standards and then one day you're just going to get mad about it, that's on you. Most of the time, if we're honest and we map this out, we will find that at the root of our anger, at the root of our frustration, is a deep-seated fear or a thing that we failed to do, a standard we failed to uphold. So be aware of that and be aware of who you are in the stressed mindset. And when you are going through difficult times, whether it's your life on the line or in other situations. As silly as it sounds, I got pretty frustrated this week over someone not responding to an email. And it was stupid. Like, why am I upset about that? Why did I let that upset my state and get me knocked off course? Right? Like, sometimes we need a friendly follow-up. It doesn't mean that they're doing it to anger you or they're trying to get under your skin or they're doing it to frustrate you. At some levels, you're there to support your team. I would say most of you listening to this as leaders, I would say all of you as leaders are there to support your team and support each other. And sometimes that means letting people have some grace. But that comes with a very, very stark warning. Grace does not mean excuses, and it does not mean letting go of the standards that you hold true. You need to hold your team accountable, but also you need to not fly off the handle every time. This is this leadership dichotomy that we find ourselves in almost daily. And when I relate it back to the folks that were in that helicopter crash, and I think about what they went through and how they responded in that situation, they had programmed themselves over the years to be ready for that situation. And they sprung into action to some degree subconsciously. So much is going on in those moments, in those near-death experiences. You don't really have total control of what your body's doing second by second. A lot of it is just subconscious human behavior. I've been through a series of incidents, car accidents and breaking bones and stuff. And I'm telling you, it's a blur when you think back to why I did what I did. So I think it's worth just kind of reflecting on that a bit this week and this weekend as you guys go into this weekend, and maybe just giving the folks around you that you love and care about, your family, your friends, your coworkers, your people that you really show up for every day, giving them a hug, saying how much you appreciate them, going out of your way to be nice, to be grateful. And that leads me to kind of my last update for you guys today. The last update really is this idea of, why are you waiting? I was having a one-to-one with one of my team members, and it was John Wint. John's our chief operating officer, and oftentimes in our one-to-ones, they turn into John asking me questions that are very frustrating sometimes for me, because he's fucking right. And he asks these questions that need to be asked. And this is one of John's superpowers, like his ability to sit down, be quiet, listen to you, and then ask a question and then just sit there and listen is I think, his biggest superpower as a leader. And he often uses this superpower on me. So I'm in his one-to-one. I'm supposed to be helping him. But he asked me a question about, we're doing so much stuff at K&D. It's nonstop. We're going in 10 different directions. We're innovating. We're growing. We're boom, boom, boom. And he asked me a question about a thing we're doing and said, what are you waiting for? And as all these excuses flooded my mind and all these things that I was about to say came to me, and I just observed all those emotions and ideas and excuses, and I knew they were all bullshit, I had to say, I don't really know. And I gave him a few excuses. Oh, we're waiting for this. We're waiting for that. We're waiting. I can't share too much with you guys, but I said like 3 or 4 different things, and they were all bullshit, and he knew it. So we kept waiting. And I kind of came to this epiphany of like, I'm waiting for me. Like, I'm waiting for me to be comfortable. I'm waiting for the fear to subside. I'm waiting for the anxiety to go away. I'm waiting for the math and the numbers to tell me this is a good decision or a bad decision. I'm waiting for nothing, because none of those things are going to come true. When we wait to make decisions, when we wait to take action, when we wait to do what we know is the right thing for the company, you hold back your entire team. And oftentimes the reason we're waiting is our own fears and our own insecurities. And we think magically, because time passing, we will then have less insecurities in the future. Because in 5 years or in 5 months, I'm going to be a different person and I'm going to be able to make that decision. It's not how the world works. So when you're thinking about doing something, and maybe you're thinking, I for sure know there's something that you're thinking about doing. As you listen to this today, there is an action, a moment, a decision that you're holding off making, and you think that more information is going to become available. You think that next week or next month or next year, you're going to be in a better mindset to make that decision. You're going to have more information to make that decision. I'm going to tell you guys, you need to make that decision today. You need to make that decision this week, and you need to move forward, because it doesn't matter if the decision is right or wrong. What matters is that you are making progress and you are learning from that progress. Now, as long as this decision isn't going to bankrupt the company, you need to try and make some movements. Take some bets. Don't bet the farm, don't go all in, but make some bets. See what happens. And so as I ask you that question, what are you waiting for? What comes to mind? What comes to mind? A decision that you've been holding off. A bet that you've been waiting to make. It could be an expansion play. It could be adding a new service, hiring a new team member, firing a team member, expanding your acquisition pipeline. Maybe it's buying a company. Maybe it's going after a customer that you've been afraid to even approach because you don't think you're ready. The truth is, we're never ready. Quote unquote, like I'm using air quotes, we're never ready, because the greatest people in the world didn't wait for success to come to them. They didn't wait for more information. They didn't wait for anything. They went out and they created their luck. They created their success. And they took ownership of their life, and they took ownership of their decisions, and they took ownership of their outcomes. I want to be very clear here. Ownership of outcomes is the elite level. As a leader, as an owner, CEO, or wherever you are in the company, I don't even care your title. You own the outcomes that you're responsible for. And as soon as you face the fact of that and you stop running from the outcomes and you start going forward and making those decisions, the faster the things that you desire in life will come to you. The gap of where you are and where you want to be is just a few decisions away. And it's just a few failures away. Failure is the way forward, as scary as that sounds. And I encourage all of you guys to make one bet, make that decision, go forward this weekend, decide and resolve and commit to move forward. That's all we got, guys. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you guys right back here next week for the weekly update. Oh, and don't miss this Wednesday's podcast drop. I've got a special guest who has a ton of information to share. Stay tuned. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in to Trades Talk, where the next generation of disruptors comes to raise the bar. If you got value from today's episode, share it with someone in the trades who's ready to level up. For more tools, insights, and community, follow host Justin White and join the movement at jwhitegroup.com.